To the Box One podcast with Jalen and Alec. We're here to break down everything that's going on in the basketball world. We've definitely had a good few days, yes, sir. Some Florida schools, our alumni schools. So let's get right to it. I mean, I'll start. I know you're in your FSU hoodie, but
Yep,
I'll
yep.
kick us off. I think I had more of the competitive game, I'll say.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure,
UCF
for sure.
UCF Cincinnati. What is it? I guess it's second round. Cincinnati had a play-in game, if you'd call it that. So, coming out of it, UCF did not have one of their better games. That was a rough one for, I would say, 38 minutes. I wanted to turn off my TV, but those last 2 minutes, it made up everything. And that's the thing with that's why I love basketball, You're never out of it. Johnny Dawkins, he called a few timeouts, brought him in, put that full court press on, and I think we forced three
Yep,
turnovers
three
in like
straight.
a minute. 8-0 run. It was 68-60. No, 50, 58,
Yeah, it was
50.
50 to
And then
58. Yep.
50 to 58. And then we made it 58-58. Went to overtime, had all the momentum on our side, and we made it. And that's what you have to do in March, find a way to win and advance.
Yep.
Going into Arizona now, not into Arizona, we're still in KC for the tournament, but yeah, after an overtime game, I love my squad, but I don't know how that's gonna go. Hopefully we keep it close, but I think this locked our spot in March Madness. Everything else is just a bonus now, for seeding.
Yep.
So I'm just happy to be in. It got a little scary towards the end, so I'm taking it and running with it.
I think
But
I think
yeah,
another interesting storyline that's going to definitely be spiraling out from this is ultimately how did UCF I guess get back into the game. The other side of it,
for sure.
Wes Miller completely crumbled, completely fumbled, completely just I think a disaster of a coaching job towards the end of that game. As you said, they didn't ultimately go on what was be, I guess, I think before they did end this scoring again, I think it was a
Yeah.
15 to 4 run, 15 to 2 run
15-2,
at
yeah,
one point.
15-2. Yep.
Absolutely, this is going to eventually lead into overtime with that run, but
Yes, 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 yes.
absolutely inexcusable. Where most of the game, you said, like, I think it was 2:23 or somewhere around there before UCF, I guess, realized they were playing a game and decided
Yeah,
to
it
turn it
took a
on. But
while.
Cincinnati ultimately killed for most of this game, and it was Cincinnati's game to lose. I think when you come down in a situation, Wes Miller ultimately decided to let them play essentially what most people just kind of call it as 58-58. You have a chance to win the game, and you come down, you don't really call a set, and I think which is upsetting because I think
Hmm.
they definitely were out coaching a majority of the game,
The
especially
most of
scheme
the game,
wise.
yeah.
A lot of quick sets, a lot of good looks, but you let him play. You draw up, I guess, or it would be isolation, and turns into a screen. Chom was 3 of 4 at this point. You pitch it
Yeah,
back to
he was
Chom,
hitting them.
bump or fumbles the ball, and then you call a timeout with 2 seconds left for whatever reason. Chalk that
Yeah,
overtime,
yeah,
whatever, right? Get into overtime, same situation. I think it was John Bull at the free throw line. I think he hit 4 or 4
yeah,
at one point before that, and he
yeah,
ended up missing a free
yeah.
throw.
He did, he did, he did, he did.
Gives you a chance. You're down 66-65. I mean, this is just knowing your situation, they instead of grabbing the rebound and pushing it to at least then get a shot, maybe we'd say with 8 seconds that you're getting into the half court, they take the ball, pitch it backwards, losing about 4 seconds in that whole exchange, and then you get into the half court again. There's no timeout. I think Wes Miller at least had one at this point, if not two. No timeout. You ultimately get a terrible shot, and I think that might be the last time he's on that sideline. I don't know if he's taking timeouts to his next job essentially at this place.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what are you doing? It's completely just not realizing the situation you're in. Just I feel like you can put a lot of it on players. I feel like they definitely weren't, I guess, executing the last couple of possessions. I mean, they still kept you in there
No, it
in the
was,
game. I
yeah,
think it's a lot. It's hard to
yeah,
throw it back on the players. A lot of the situation. I think even coming back 2 weeks ago, Cincinnati was a really hot team. They were really a team you didn't want to come playing. I guess start of March or middle of
yeah,
March. I think they were a really
yeah,
hot team. You did not want to have them on your schedule essentially. And
yeah.
then
I was worried going into it. Yeah.
this second crumble, I guess, from Wes Miller and this Cincinnati team where you have a lot of older players. I mean, we didn't even touch on the Jizzle James whole thing where he comes back mid-year. I mean, this was just a
Yeah, that
mess.
was
This is
wild.
a
It was a
mess to
mess. It
begin with,
was.
and then I can't see them continuing to have him be on their sidelines past maybe. I think he has 24 hours with this title, this job title, and then
max.
Probably ultimately packing it up, but
Yeah. I mean, yeah, all the money they gave, you got to think about that too.
yeah,
Those boosters are going to come down on him because, as we great story, UCF, the UCF fans were loving it, talking all about it after the game. Mustafa Chaman, the assistant coach, they were a package deal. I think they got $2 to $3 million from Cincinnati to go there and leave UCF. That's more than UCF has on their whole team, payroll wise. So, and they lost. So that definitely comes back on Wes Miller. Same thing with Baba. I'm assuming he got a
yeah,
nice
probably
bag.
got
He had a
yeah,
terrible game. Lost his head, yelled at the ref, got a tech,
like Griffin,
came
yeah,
back in, missed a huge shot at the end. So and Stillwell bodied him towards the end. Stillwell took over the game. So just overall, I think those were big misses on Wes Miller and Cincinnati's part. Chum had a great game, don't get me wrong,
yeah,
but
he did.
I can't. I don't know how where you go from there. I don't think you could keep him there. But hey, to keep it with
We can
the
go to I guess not really Tallahassee, but I don't know where this
Yeah,
team's
I'm
being
saying to
played.
keep the Box and One podcast
But
going, let's go to your school. You're wearing it,
Florida
FSU.
State absolutely put it on Cal today. Most of that game was at least 10 point spread, if not more. I think at one point they were up by 20. Cal did fight back. I respected them. They stayed in the game the whole way through it. I think they ended up winning by 6.
Yeah, something like that.
If you watch the game, it was pretty much over
Yeah, way
from
more.
midway through this the second half. But
Definitely.
I teased it earlier. I teased it on Sunday. Next one's Duke tomorrow at 7 p.m. I do like this matchup. I think Duke is definitely dealing with some injuries. Caleb Foster has had the fractured foot that's been reported now. It's officially confirmed he will be missing the rest of the year.
Yep.
Patrick Ngumba is also dealing with some foot injury. He's been confirmed to be out for the ACC conference tournament. And I think even if we go back to, I guess, before Florida State has really become Florida State this year, January 3rd, they played Duke at in Tallahassee. And that I don't know. You can have the home court advantage, but that only ended up being a 4 point win. I think they really do match up well with them. They've given Duke one of the harder matchups of this year. Duke gets in a lot of tougher games, yeah, but I think from where Florida State was at that point in the year to where they are now, I think they definitely are going to have a very interesting matchup. I think they have not really necessarily bodies to throw at Cameron Boozer and slow him down. I know they're going to double team him a lot. Last time he had 9 assists. I think he definitely is going to play. He's definitely played a lot better recent weeks out of the double team. But they have one guy in Alex Steen that they're going to be able to throw at him body wise and positional matchup. But if he gets in foul trouble, Duke probably does run away with this. But I really do think is this Florida State's going to be in this game for a lot longer than what people think. I think this is a team that's coming in. They're really hot right now. They've definitely been one of the more fun teams to watch. They're a really high powered offense. Luke Locks has had the team firing threes from the parking lot
Oh,
almost.
they look
They have
good.
a
Yeah.
lot of guys putting it up. They have some transfers in. Leger Jones coming in from St. Bonaventure. They have Rob McCray the fifth. I mean, this has been an amazing
He's a
story.
baller.
He's
Yep.
been their whole offense. It feels like times coming from Jacksonville, and then Chauncey Wiggins coming from Clemson. So they have a lot of seniors too. I think it's gonna be a really interesting matchup. I know. It's a little bit different playing in the back-to-backs. I know you kind of don't tend to like, you don't really agree with. I think you might have some dead legs with the back-to-back. I'll let you touch on that in a second, but I do think that coming in, I think they definitely have the momentum behind them, and you definitely have come
For
in
sure.
off of yesterday, or I guess would be tonight, or would be yesterday for tomorrow's game, but. They have some momentum. They're playing really well. They're shooting the ball really well. They're scoring really well. I mean, they have a lot of different people doing a lot of different things for this team. And I think matching up with this injured deep team, I think they're coming off of having a little bit of a rest. Probably haven't been going as hard the past couple of days. Probably trying to conserve some legs while you have a weaker team right now in practice. I think this is definitely a team that can capitalize on Duke kind of taking a little bit of a break, I think.
Yeah, I mean, hey, all respect to FSU. I don't think tomorrow's gonna go too well for you guys. I mean, we're talking about Duke. We're talking about the
Yeah.
the favorites, in my opinion. As we said on last episode, I don't love to cheer for the favorites, but I just have to give it to them. They've been unbelievable. Even after they had that scare against FSU. I was watching that. That was a great game in tally, but then they go whatever a month later or whatever, they go and they whoop Michigan, who's supposed to be
Yeah.
really good. So, I just think they're dominant. Yeah, they're gonna have two injuries to some big players, but I mean, Evans and Boozer are still there. And I know if UCF or one of my teams were going in against those two, I would be terrified. You know, Boozer's, he's insane. That's player of the year. I think he was almost unanimous. His coach had to pick a different way, and I think one other person. So, you know, he's a stud. I just don't see a way of keeping him, especially in the conference tournament, containing him. But I mean, let's see if they could do it. Yeah, as you touched on, I'm not at the back to back. That's why I'm worried about this UCF game. I know we did go to overtime. It was a bit of a closer game, a bit more of a dogfight, but I just think FSU might tire out towards the end of that game, especially if it's a close one.
Yep.
And let's see. I mean, but maybe not because Duke's depth, we talked about in the last episode, is not going to be an issue. We're definitely going to see the Boozer twins playing together. He was a pretty big prospect coming off his brother as well. So let's see if he could kind of fill that guard role. And let's see if Evans could kind of pick up and knock those threes down. I know you remember in that last game,
Yep.
Evans kind of took over.
Yeah,
So
he did get hot. He posted a just an average night, I feel like, for Isaiah Evans towards this what's been this past couple or the
yeah,
calendar
he's
year of
insane.
2026. Casual 28 points. I think he had six threes. Another day in the
Yeah.
office when he gets hot.
Yeah, right. Great
You
player.
let a shooter get hot, you let him get see a couple go through the
For
net.
sure.
There's really no telling what gonna happen.
Of course.
But I think it's definitely gonna be really interesting to see that matchup. I do think that we're probably I haven't looked any lines. I probably is gonna come in like maybe a 9.5 point
Yeah, I would
projection
say
spread.
somewhere 10
I
and a half,
definitely
nine and a
see
half.
Florida
Yeah.
State keeping that within maybe with under seven majority of the game. And I do think if Duke has one of their historical slower half first halves or slower starts in the first half, I can see Florida State ultimately coming in, if not winning that first half. I think they could be down if maybe 3-5 at max. I do think this is a team that's gonna be ready. I think they're gonna be prepared. They've already focused on Duke. I think that's the only thing they have on their mind until they touch the court. Now, it is Duke. We'll see what's going to happen tomorrow at 7. I probably
Let's
won't want
see.
to report
Let's
on it,
see.
but
It's March. It's March.
yeah, that's what
Anything
that's
could
what
happen in March.
the power of a couple
So
days
let's
going
see.
by will be able.
Yeah. And let's
But
stay in the ACC. Let's
yes,
stay in the
yeah, let's
ACC. I know Syracuse. Syracuse was in the news
some
today.
disappointment.
Yesterday, and today. But yeah, that was a disappointing season overall. Not just in
Yep,
the tournament. Disappointing season. You know, now their coach is gone. You know, I know
yep.
you liked Syracuse going into the season. A lot of great studs. I'll let you talk about some of them, but there's some big ones that we're probably going to see hit the transfer portal. Before we go into some of those players, you could definitely touch on those. I already think they have their coach. If, in my opinion, I know it's already been in the news. They interviewed him. He said he only wants to think about his team right now. He gave the real coach's answer on that one.
Yeah,
I think it's probably already signed. It's already a deal. It's Jerry McNamara from Siena. He played at Syracuse, was a really good guard there. Associate head coach, which got into Siena. Siena's a great team. It's not like they're gonna get a random coach that doesn't have any success. They're in the dance. They already made it last night. While everyone was watching that BAM game that we're gonna talk about, you know, I was tuned into that Siena game like a real college fan. So, you know, he has that team going, and let's see how far he could take them if he can maybe pull off a first round upset. But I think once they're eliminated, I think we're gonna get that news that he's going to Syracuse pretty quick. But again, I don't know what players are gonna stay. I don't know what players are gonna come with him. So I think there's some talented players that I know you really like that might be on the market real soon.
yeah. Even I mean, we'll touch a little bit yesterday. Autry getting fired. I think the end of the second half yesterday against SMU kind of just sums it up. I mean, his whole
Yeah,
coaching tenure was there. I mean, you show up for half the time, and then the other half, you kind of just you're not there. His record was 49-48,
yeah,
pretty mediocre. You won half, you lost half,
yeah,
but in doing that, he definitely had some bigger names come into play for that program. I think we all remember Judah Mintz was there for a year, but
yep,
aside from JJ Starling, he has no more eligibility. He's probably gonna be gone. Probably G League, probably European player, but Donnie Freeman, I find that really interesting. I think he's a very versatile guy. 6'10", can handle the ball a little bit. Former 5-star out of, I'm pretty sure he played at IMG, probably not, but whatever. We'll pretend he did. Really versatile forward. I can't see a world where that's not a top 15, top 10 recruit come whenever the portal opens up. I know they've changed a lot of those rules, but that's going to be somebody that I can't see him staying in Syracuse. I mean, I know Duke has really been a team anybody they go get anybody they
Oh
want.
yeah,
UNC is definitely another team. I feel like Kansas could be another team. Arizona with the emergence of this year, but NIL's really opened a door for you can go get anybody essentially, especially if you put the right price tag on anything. BYU is another one that has infinite money, but I think Donnie Freeman's definitely going to be an interesting name. I think he's really due for a big breakout junior year. He spent half of this first year or this sophomore year of hurt, so
Yep.
he's just due. Definitely avoiding the probably the NBA process. Probably definitely going to be testing the water, especially in not knowing where he's going to play next year. He doesn't have a head coach he's signed to. It needs to be really interesting to see what he's ultimately going to do these next coming months. But the next biggest name, I guess, I'll touch on with that. We'll hit on, I guess, a really big name, but Sadiq White, another four-star recruit, probably five-star. I know
Hmm.
for a fact this guy did go to IMG, but
There you go.
really athletic freak. I know you like Dylan Mitchell, the guy who plays for your team.
Yep.
Again, I'll touch on him. He's from my area. I know him a little bit, but pretty similar player. I mean, freak athlete, really can jump out of the gym, but not much of a offensive developed game for the college game. I think he's a really good rebounder, really good high energy guy. Probably 6'7" to 6'9", really good high energy defensive guy. I think a lot of college coaches, especially with the emergence of like players like even Dame Sarr this year at Duke, keeping on
Hmm.
that trend where it's just problematic when you put a guy like that on the ball, and it's really annoying for a lot of these smaller, quick twitchy guards. And I think that definitely could be a household name come this time next year, where Sadiq White might just be a problematic player on the defensive end. So I think that definitely could be a very interesting name to see where he goes, especially if you put him in the right tool or the right offense,
Yeah.
the right defense, the right tools around him. I think that's probably an easy $1 million guy right there. But I have Luke Fennell in here, another Australian guy. Nobody probably even knows who that is, but four-star. He didn't play at all this year, redshirted. Probably gonna be transferred. You won't. You'll figure out next year. Basically, a freshman for you. But Kyan Anthony, obviously, that's
There it
you
is.
hear
Yeah.
Syracuse. That's I had to
There
put.
it is.
We'll save him for last. Obviously, he has some legacy. I mean, I think everybody's probably heard of the original Mello at this point. The original Syracuse, like just offensive engine, basically. Everybody knows who Carmelo Anthony is at this point, but baby Mello, Kyan
Yeah.
Anthony being
Yeah.
at Syracuse, he played a little bit earlier in the year as a touch. JJ Starling, he had a little bit of an injury at the beginning of this year too. It opened up some minutes for Kyan, but unfortunately he didn't ultimately keep those minutes. He had games where he didn't even touch the floor points for under Autry. I know in the world of NIL, especially what I've already been touching on, I don't know. Do we see him potentially hit the portal and say, "Hey, I'm Kyan Anthony. I think I did everything that people wanted me to do. Everybody wanted to see me play a year at Syracuse. I did that. I don't owe anything else to anybody." A lot of people probably even project him to come back to college. Now we've seen how good of a
Yeah.
class this is going to be.
Yeah.
Let him go be a kid. I mean, maybe he grew up being a fan of UNC secretly. I don't know. His dad probably didn't have a fan of that, but
Yeah. His
like,
dad would kill him.
yeah, let him go. Maybe he goes somewhere else. Maybe he doesn't want to be a part for of the Syracuse rebuild, which essentially I don't know how many people are going to commit to a coach coming in from Siena, as you said. He does have
Hmm.
Syracuse ties, but I don't know who's going to essentially
Nah.
want to
Yeah.
commit a 4-star, 5 star is going to want to come and commit, knowing you might not have the team around you to even commit and they're playing the ACC next year. And I think everybody, especially these higher name prospects, what I said, your whole end goal is make. I guess now it's make as much money as you can
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
college,
It's
and then
changing. It's changing.
maybe take 7 years to get there, then get to the NBA. But especially with the pandemic and all that stuff, but.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think this is definitely gonna be an interesting name. I know you kind of made the joke earlier, going and playing with Braun or Bryce at Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking a
That'd
little
be
bit
really cool. I mean,
off screen. I
maybe
mean,
get some LeBron and
yeah.
Melo, a little half of the boat, banana boat, and in the
Yeah,
crowd sometimes.
exactly. Yeah, you never. That would be a
That'd be a
cool
storyline.
storyline.
But
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely think that's gonna be a really cool name, whether it's the best player in the portal or the biggest name, I guess, just marketability wise or persona wise, and Kyan Anthony. I think that's definitely gonna
Yeah,
be a really interesting name to see in these coming
yeah,
months or
yeah.
whenever the portal exactly is gonna open up.
Yeah, exactly, exactly as you said. I mean, that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Yeah, as the portal
Yep.
comes around, mid-April. Kyan, is he gonna? I would expect him to still test the draft. He has a big ego. I would expect him to do that, but I really do see, as you're saying, I don't see him back at
No.
Syracuse. I mean, as you heard at the beginning of the episode, I'm a big fan of the coach that I'm assuming they bring in, but it's just not worth it for him. It's not the best fit. I think he did what people wanted him to do. He kind of saved face. He went to Syracuse. He tried to make that legacy. It didn't work for some other reasons. And I think now's his chance to really go and shine with a top team. Yeah, as we were talking about off screen, Bryce James, that would be dope at Arizona, or if he goes to a different school. But there's been a lot of schools out there. The payroll, even you're seeing. I'm assuming Syracuse had a crazy amount of money they threw his way. So I don't even know how much he's gonna get offered. I don't want to see that number. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting. We're definitely gonna keep our eye on that. But I know, as I touched on when I was talking about the Siena game, there was some big news in the basketball world. We're not just
Yeah.
college here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bam with that 83
Some guy
history
decided
books.
to piss off all of Kobe Bryant's fan base. Score 83 points. I mean, like, who does he think he is?
Yeah,
But like you
that
said,
was that was something.
Bam Adebayo, for those that don't know, I mean, if any Heat fans are watching this, I'm sure you probably haven't heard yet. Casual fan base, but Bam Adebayo dropped 83, and I think he was definitely, I'll leave it at that. I think he's definitely been getting a lot of unwarranted hate. I mean, NBA
Agree.
history, I mean, even the past couple of years, I think a lot of people scored 70. It's been, oh, well, scoring is not the coolest thing anymore. But if you just take a second and realize how many, if you've ever played a basketball game, you realize how many points 83 in the game is, let alone any level. I mean, I don't think if I go played in the 5-year-old YMCA league, I'd score 83 right now. I mean,
100%.
that's a lot of points, and I think a lot of that. I mean, yeah, you can get mad at Coach Spo and how they're handling it at the end of the game, fouling and trying to essentially break history, but I think a lot of that can also be thrown at Brian O'Keefe. I mean, you're coaching essentially the other team. You have just as equal rights to stopping the guy
Yep.
as he is scoring. You didn't opt to double team him at all. You didn't decide to, hey, we're gonna let whoever else score 40 tonight. We're gonna let them have a little bit of history instead of
Yeah.
letting
Not until
Bam
the very
Adebayo
end when he started
essentially,
triple teaming, but there was
yeah,
no point at that
yeah,
point.
yeah. Essentially, we're gonna be cemented in history on the wrong side as the
Yeah.
guys that gave up 83, pissed off half the NBA fan base on a random Tuesday night. I mean, I think that's just simply inexcusable. I mean, just as much as all the hate that Bam Adebayo has been recently getting for having a career night. I mean, who wouldn't want to be essentially etched into permanent NBA history? That's never going to go away. You're never taking away 83 points from him. I mean, it's done. You can't undo history, like I said. But the
Exactly.
the hate that he's been getting, I think a lot of the people saying there's probably not a worse person to score 83. Whether I agree
That's
with
a, that's a
whether I
compliment.
agree
Hey,
with
it's a
that or not.
compliment at the end of the day.
But
It's
I
a
think it's still
compliment.
history. You have to appreciate it. And I think a lot the Wizards deserve just as much hate as what Bam Adebayo is getting. You mean at some point you have to have pride. You have to realize that hey, I'm still getting cooked. I'm getting embarrassed on it. And everybody in the world is tuned in and watching this. There's probably you're gonna be that's gonna be played until the day you die. They're your highlights of getting cooked on defense because you had no pride. And I think that just it's inexcusable. I think a lot of that should be thrown at Bam Adebayo's way. Whether that you can't control everybody else's narrative, but
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty much
Yeah.
all I have to say on it. I think Bam Adebayo definitely deserves a little bit more praise. Whether I personally agree with the person who scored the amount of points, but again, you can't hate on history. I think it's definitely it needs to be appreciated while it does happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got 2 points on that. I mean, yeah, I'm not a huge Heat fan myself. I'm born and raised in South Florida, but you can label me as a Heat hater, as they say. But I'm respecting it. He has my 100% respect. He's in the history books. Another thing, I sound like a hater today, but yeah, I don't even believe the Wilt 100. I've never seen any footage from that. I'm not giving him that. So now Bam is my number one scorer of all
Yep.
time in a single game. So him and Kobe are up there. Shout out to Kobe though. I mean, he definitely had less free throws when he did it, but still
Definitely
nothing
had
against
less
Bam.
assists.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, always. And I mean, I watched the videos. Bam was getting fouled. He had the right to go to the free throw line. It wasn't like the refs were giving them to him. So he has every right to celebrate that, and no one should really be tearing him down for it. His mom was in the crowd. It was at home. They were chanting his name, so he deserves all the love he's getting. On that part, I think, as you said, yeah, the Wizards are definitely to blame. They even with the triple teaming and the fouling, like stuff like that, they just went low and Spo went lower. As my friend said, like I
Yeah,
don't blame it. Like he got the history book. He's in the history books. Yeah, if you told me Bam, if you asked me yesterday who was scoring 83, I probably would have named like 100 names before Bam.
probably would have
But
picked campaign.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to shout out my guy Campaign. Don't let that go. unseen. 32 points, fresh into the league after being overseas. But
Yeah, I mean,
no, great. And
just another
Wemby
day
eight
for
threes too.
campaign.
Another one, Wemby eight threes. So
Yeah,
in my opinion, I think he's probably going to be the guy to come close to that. The next guy. I mean, Wemby's a freak.
yeah.
Him
Hot
and
take of the
Luca.
century. Hey,
Hey,
hey. If
hey,
campaign could
83 is
drop 30,
allowed, but
Wemby could
yeah,
drop
yeah, you're
100.
yeah, right. No, but yeah, we'll see who gets to that 83 or gets close. We know Luca was already close with that, but yeah, let's see how it goes. But yeah, mad respect to Bam and the entire Heat organization, the way they handled that. I know they're doing like a whole big celebration now, so they deserve it. Bam deserves that. Met him a few times here in South Florida. Cool guy, well deserved. So yeah, big shout out to him. A great day of NBA, even though I was tuned in more college.
Yeah,
But yeah, we had a great day of NBA, and
yeah. It's been really
let's see
great
how
days
it
of
goes.
basketball.
Oh, it's March. Yeah, yeah, we're
Yeah,
here. We're here.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely really fun as a fan. I mean, I've said it since the beginning of the college basketball season. I think this is definitely a year you did not want to miss, and I mean, from my perspective, it's definitely lived up to it. And then so
For
signs that's why
sure.
we're here. So I think it's definitely been
Exactly.
fun. I think just touching on a little bit of some personal favorites, I guess today, some alumnus stuff, just a little bit of stuff with Syracuse, some stuff going on in the average day, and then the 83 points. I mean,
Yeah, just
I mean
something small.
that essentially was the main topic today. Somehow
Just
got
something
pushed to the
small.
back burner of the news, but
We saved it for last,
yeah, I mean,
save
it's
the
our
best for
show. We do
last.
what we want. So
Hey, there we go. There we
take it
go.
up with the
But
writers.
yeah, and
As
speaking of our show, we'll definitely have a college preview coming up.
yeah, yeah, we'll definitely touch on Selection Sunday, whether or
Let's
not I
see
think some
let's see
schedule
how the
stuff might.
committee handles some of these bubble teams.
Yep.
Hopefully, hey, FSU gets a win tomorrow, they'll be on that bubble,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, they'll
they'll
be
be
in it.
tuned in. Yep, yep.
So
So let's see how it goes, and hopefully they make the right choices. We saw UNC was chosen last year, a little surprise there. They
yeah.
ended up winning in the first four by like 40. So let's see. Hopefully they make the right decision again. But yeah, we'll definitely have an episode coming out Sunday or Monday
Yeah, definitely sometime.
previewing what's to
Again.
come. But we hope you guys enjoy this
Yeah, well
March.
hope you enjoyed, and we'll see
It's
you guys
already
next
off to a
time.
great start. Yes, sir.